Okay, so today we're going to learn how to make a kissing ball, or sometimes they're also known as a pomander ball. You'll need a few different things for your supply list. You'll need some tulle, maybe some cute decorative ribbon. You'll need your flowers. You'll need a 5-inch styrofoam ball, a glue gun, some scissors, and a long straight pin. And on your flowers, you'll need about, for this project, we're going to need about 40 flowers. So let's get started. So what you want to start off with is just going ahead and opening up your styrofoam ball. Okay, and once you have your ball, you can take your flowers, and if they have this short stem on them, where the stem has been removed, you can actually still use this little piece to help it adhere to the styrofoam ball. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and take our glue and kind of lather it up onto that piece of the stem. And then basically just pick a spot to start, and you're just going to stick it inside the styrofoam ball. And I would recommend just taking your finger and putting it in the center of the flower to just kind of hold it there to start. So that's what we're going to start with. And then I recommend going all the way around in a complete circle your first row. So get that stem again completely full of glue, and then you're just gonna get it fairly tight to the next one and just push it right in to the center there, and just kind of push it in, and you're just gonna keep going. And I would get them, fairly close together so that you don't have any gaps in between the flowers. You don't want to be able to see that styrofoam ball underneath once we have all the flowers glued in. Okay, so now you can see we've gone completely around one time on the ball. So now the next step is to fill in the both sides. And my recommendation is kind of to start out adding the next row of flowers kind of in between the two other ones, so it's kind of offset. Now, of course, by the time you get all the way around, it may not perfectly line up, but that's okay. It'll just give it a little bit more a full effect, and it won't look so symmetrical, which you kind of want it to just look like they were all randomly stuck into the ball. So again, you're just going to load up your flower back with a bunch of hot glue, and go ahead and position it for your next row in between two flowers from the previous row. And again, I kind of use my finger to kind of fasten a little bit better, and you'll go there, and then you'll just keep going around the rest of the ball. Okay, so we're getting close to finally having our ball completely covered, and as you can see, we've got the center and then one complete side fully done. At this point, this is where I would suggest getting your ribbon and or your tulle ready to do your hanger. It's just easier if you get that on there now than trying to squeeze it in once you've gotten your flowers all glued in. So go ahead and open up your tulle, and you'll want to cut off a piece, depending upon what size, length, how long you want it to be to hang. I'm just going to cut this end off since it has the little sticky part from the packaging. Okay. So depending upon how long you want it, you're going to want it double. So if it's pretty self-explanatory, so just kind of figure out approximately how long you want your hanger to be. So I'm gonna give ours maybe, you know, about 8 or 9 inches. So you're gonna fold that over and double it, and then just go ahead and cut it straight across. Then what I would suggest is taking your end and tying a small knot in the end. That's just to keep your ends of the tool together. So just tie a small knot, pull it kind of tight, and then I would just kind of trim that edge off just a little bit. Okay, and you want to do that on both ends. And again, this is just to kind of keep your ends together when we attach it to the ball. So get that other knot at the end there and get that one pretty tight. And that one looks pretty good. Okay, so now you're just gonna, I'll trim it a little bit here. So now you have your 2 ends with the knots, and this part is kind of tricky, but what I would suggest is taking, this is where you're gonna need your straight pin, and you're just gonna poke your straight pin right through the knot on one of them. Then you're gonna go right through the next knot. Trying, of course, not to stab yourself. Okay, so now we've got both of your knots through the straight pin. Now what I would suggest is this is where you're going to have to add a pretty significant amount of glue to the straight pin, because when you're sticking things into styrofoam, as you know, a lot of times things don't stick very well, especially when it has a slick surface like this straight pin. So you're just going to want to load up your straight pin with a bunch of glue and get it down here by the knots, just like that. And then you're just going to kind of set your ball there, find the center. It doesn't even really matter because any spot can become your center, and just get your pin right inside there. And then I kind of twist it so that I have one end going one direction and one going the opposite direction, and just get that pin held right inside the center there, and just give it a good push. And I would hold it for just a second or two, you know, to get that glue to dry. Okay, so at this point you can just set your, you know, tool or your ribbon off to the side and continue gluing your roses on. So again, we're just going to load up the bottom remaining part of that stem with some hot glue, and again we're just going to keep continuing getting those glued in to the styrofoam ball. Okay, so here we are. We've got our last few flowers to glue in, and you'll just want to get those right in next to your ribbon. These are great, you know, ideas for, you could use this for a wedding. They're great for birthday parties or baby showers. They're even fun to use for home decor, like in a baby's room, or maybe your daughter's bedroom or something like that. There's so many possibilities of colors, and you can mix the colors and do all sorts of fun things. Okay, and there you go. We have our completely finished Pomander ball. And as you can see, you just take your tool and hold your hanger up, and there you go. These are really great for all those home decor ideas, and they're fun to do in different colors. And here's a different example of one that we did with pink polka dots, and we just added these really cute bows at the top to give it a little extra pizzazz.